Hi, I'm Sean and this is Holly. If you're wondering why we're standing like this, it is absolutely pouring it down right now. And Holly, tell the camera why Sean's filming right now.
Because it's Sean. because why wouldn't Sean be filming when he's got a shiny new toy and he's like, oh, it's not raining for 5 seconds. Sean, we live in the Borrowdale Valley. It is the rainiest place in England.
Anyway, today's video is all about travel and relationships and like seeing friends, family, and how to do that while traveling. But just a little off the subject thing. Let's talk about my new mics. Look at them. They're cute, aren't they? They're tiny. Holly's got one, I've got one, so you can hear us both.
And they've got my name on them.
They've got Hollyland. Yeah. Right, so Holly looks like Kenny off of South Park right now with the hood up.
I feel like a kid from It would be more appropriate.
You'll float too. Anyway, we're actually standing right outside our workplace as well, so it's also just as great because we're getting stared at by our work colleagues, which is also fun.
Well, because Sean's like, let's just run out quickly. Yeah, Sean, I'm in a bright yellow jacket, you're in a bright red jacket, but we're totally inconspicuous. Good job, mate.
Yes, that's a good job. But anyway, so we are talking about our trip down south and a lot of things that come with this trip. First of all, I want to talk about like relationships in general with family and how we deal with them as travellers. What do you mean?
How we deal with them.
Well, yeah, just deal with the family. So I'll start because Holly's kind of just following along with this video. She's like, what are you getting me to go outside in the rain for? Right. The way that I see my family, I see them every 6 months normally, once in the summer and normally around Christmas time. And or when we go on a big trip, we see my family. And for Holly, it's slightly different. This is her first time away from...
Not living in my own country as an adult.
Yeah. So you're having to deal with this...
I'm having to figure out how often I want to see my family, when I can see my family, and how to get around both of our lives not coming in the way.
So the good thing about your family is they've actually come down to see us.
Yeah, they're only 2.5 hours away.
I didn't get much filming of that, so unfortunately they're not on here. But next time, I'm sure that they'd want to be in there. So as I was saying, we deal with our family and see them differently anyway. So I'm not saying that I don't enjoy seeing my family, that's why I see them a lot less than Holly does. It's more the fact that mine are actually further away, even though we are in the Lake District. And it's, what's it, about 4 or 5 hours, wasn't it?
It's 5.5 hours still from here.
And for yours, it's about 2 hours, isn't it?
2.5, 3 hours, I think.
When it comes to friends, though, it's slightly different for me. Friends, some of them I haven't seen for about 8 years from when I first started long-term travel to Australia. When I first went to long-term travel, I did long-term travel, then stopped, came back for a bit, and then whatnot. But Australia was about 8 years ago I did that, and I haven't seen some of my friends since then. And that's the reason why we're recording right now, is because we both went down to see my friends for a wedding, and we took a long journey down from the Lake District all the way down to Essex, and it was a fun drive. Here's some clips from that drive. The roads in England are horrendous, and the weather is very like it is today.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah. If you want to travel, just watch this video.
Do you want to reiterate that we're on an English road? Yeah. You know how you know you're on an English road? Probably not at this time of day. But later on, give it an hour.
Why?
You'll know you're on an English road because there'll be dafties on it that will ride your tail, even though you're doing the speed limit, and then they'll pull in and not indicate.
Yep.
Off camera we were just discussing that Sean's bag smells like smelly boy, put it politely.
Balls.
Yeah.
Anyway, other than that, we don't just talk about the whole road trip, just talking about smelly boy parts. We also have great tunes. We listened to Taylor Swift earlier for about a good 2 hours. We had a podcast on. But what I wanted to talk to you about is how lovely the south is right now. Look how beautiful it is out.
You could literally be in any road in the UK. I'm sorry, like,
Yeah.
it's so flat.
But anyway, give them a rundown of what happened in Birmingham, because obviously I didn't really film a lot there. Left them having our meal deal sandwich.
What happened in Birmingham? Tried to find shoes, couldn't find shoes, had a meltdown.
Yep.
Had to find fuel, couldn't find fuel, found fuel, told Sean that the petrol cap was actually on his side and not my side, but that didn't matter. Sean decided that he was just going to trust Sean's instincts, drive into the petrol station, and then have a full-on panic attack, and consider reversing on a one-way.
Oh, what did?
What is? You just swore.
Yeah, I have to cut that out.
Decided that reversing on a one-way street was an okay solution. It wasn't. We just got back on the motorway and yeah. Why did he do this as well?
This is absolutely.
Like, are you having a chat with each other? Is that what it is? Because you're driving side by side. Nobody's overtaking anybody.
He's just literally been overtaken.
This other guy's going to undertake him just to annoy him.
Yeah. How many miles are we going to be doing this for now? He just pulled out in front of me, made me slam my brakes. Welcome to the English roads. Don't worry, you can't see anything.
That they can't drive. Perfect example of it.
Keep the camera on these, so I want to see how long we go for, because I'll speed it up and I'll do a little montage and I want to see how long these trucks take to overtake each other. And you see on the right hand side we have the brown truck, and he is slightly winning this race. The one on the right hand side has tried to overtake, but he hasn't quite managed it. The one on the inside... What do you think you're doing, mate? We've got a green car up my side. He's going to cut me up right now. No way. He's Scottish as well. He's from Scotland. What do you think you're getting now? Oh, this could be an accident. I'm pulling back a little bit because look at this guy. So now we have the lorry, the brown lorry, and a green car that thought he thinks he can fit between these two gaps.
As you can tell, the roads in England, they're full of idiots. Best way of putting it, have you got a better way of putting how
It's like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, so you could kind of see that truck. There was two trucks going past each other and the car kind of pulled in front of us like he knew better.
Yeah,
like he had a secret way of getting around these trucks.
No, because the worst thing about that was it was a Scottish car.
Oh yeah, you did not like
No.
that.
We were just talking about the further south you get, the more aggressive drivers get. Now it is because there's more cars on the road, so they have to be more aggressive to get anywhere any time soon. But
Yeah.
it's
Scotland, they're normally not very aggressive at all.
it can be.
You kind of see that the clip's kind of finished there. We didn't really record much in England, did we?
No.
And that's because, one, it's a bit weird to get out my camera while I'm spending time with my family.
Yeah.
And two, we didn't have enough time to even do anything ourselves.
There's
really.
also us having 4 days off from work since arriving at work.
Yeah.
So we were taking the time to actually enjoy being off. And as much as this isn't work, it is.
What, the fact the camera
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah, it's still having to get the camera out and stuff.
Like
Plus,
you are getting the authentic version of us, but also heightened.
yeah.
When the camera's on, you have to
you kind of
be
also
more
have,
aware of what you're saying, and
you also have to explain everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way of putting it. Like we went to Marks and Spencer's, and I got out my phone because I thought, I might use this clip because people bring up the story about Holly getting her shoes and stuff, and she ended up getting her shoes in Marks and Spencer's. But I had to explain to everyone what's going on while I'm in Marks and Spencer's, just needing some shoes for Holly, and it's just not really fun. Are you getting wet right now? Because I'm
Yes.
getting absolutely soaked. Let's talk about the one thing I really wanted to talk about before we drown, and that is talk about sacrifice of travel versus not traveling. And I hadn't actually seen it up to this point. I've heard about it, and we kind of when we spoke to friends that I hadn't spoke to for 8 years.
yeah.
Our lives are so much different to theirs. So you're gonna say something? Just dripping on.
They make it out. I think people can get so trapped in their day-to-day life that they don't realise that this could also be an option for them.
Yes.
Like when we were telling people that we were living in the Lake District, it was like it was some sort of fantasy land, when it's not. It's part of their country. There's nothing stopping you up and going, but life gets in the way for some people.
But they had a life that's very different to ours. Like they've had kids,
Yeah.
they've got their own house, a lot of them. We haven't.
No.
We've got a tiny little room.
Technically homeless.
Yeah, technically we've got a little tiny little room and we've got a bar. We technically live in a hotel room, technically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wouldn't like that. So
No.
our lifestyle is very different to others. Like, again, possibly we couldn't possibly have a child and travel like we do.
No.
We have a lot of freedom, but we have a lot of sacrifice with this. So I'm just going to cut quickly there. I know obviously I'm trying to get quite deep with you right now, but this is what it's been like for the last week, maybe. We had about 4 weeks of really nice weather. I'm like, oh, well, it's too hot to record. It's too hot to do stuff. And this is what it's been like for the last week. And this is the reason why I'm out here recording now, because we haven't had a chance to not record, like a chance to record, because it's always been raining, and I don't want to do it in the room because the room's really small, so we're trying to get most out of it.
We're working to save, so yeah, we are making massive sacrifices right now by like standing in the rain, probably catching a cold.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's a very different lifestyle. Like, it's not all fun when it comes to travel.
This is the reality of
Yeah.
being travel vloggers
Yeah.
and
Look,
saving the travel.
how many people, travel vloggers, would come out in the rain just to literally film you a clip about them going home? There's not many.
But
Like,
if you're to come to the Lake District, specifically the Borrowdale Valley, and you expect to have a time here without rain, pigs will fly. Like, we live a mile away from the wettest town in England. You can't even see the mountains anymore, Sean.
yeah.
Like, Scafell Pike's gone.
I know, it's all right. So,
Look at all the coach trying to get on the bus, not trying to get wet.
you can't even see it, it's that bad. So what we're trying to say is our travel life has changed. Our lives could have been massively different if we didn't decide to travel. We could have had a life with kids, got our own house, a job. Some of our friends had jobs for over 12 years. What's that like?
I've not had a job for more than 4.
I think my first job was about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And, a travel life doesn't come...
Getting louder.
Let's turn off the thingy so they can hear it. Just tap it once, that's it. Right, so this is what the rain sounds like. This is what I look like right now. Right, so what we're trying to say is there is sacrifice with travel, and this is one of them. Our next video, we're changing our travel style. I'm glad we're changing our travel style. This cannot continue much longer. And we'll see you again soon.